Hello everybody, Hawk here. So I thought you guys might enjoy checking out the analog side of my studio. But before we do that, please remember to like and subscribe, you know the rub. Alright, let's do this. But hold on, wait just a minute. Let me be perfectly clear about something. None of this gear is necessary. These are all just toys. Yes, I have gas, I will admit it. But I do have a YouTube channel, so there's my excuse. So you don't need any of this stuff here to make great sounding music these days, great sounding, albums and releases. All you really need is your computer, a good audio interface, maybe a microphone, your instruments, a MIDI controller, really basic stuff, some good software, and of course the skills and the talent that goes along with that. I do think the playing field has become leveled in terms of what everybody has available to them to make music with today. So again, this stuff is not necessary. I just really want to emphasize that point. The money that I have spent on this stuff, it's all just toys for me. So having said that, let's get into this and check it out. Here's the hub of my analog studio, the Ramsa WR-8118. I have 18 line or mic inputs and 4 bus paths over here. The mic preamps sound fantastic. It's sometimes referred to as the poor man's Neve. I got this for about $300. It's in mint condition. The used market is awesome for sort of large format vintage mixers. I got parametric EQ here. There's a fully parametric mid-band and then a low and high shelf. You can turn the EQ on and off. I've got 2 sends, a stereo send and a mono send or headphone cue, whatever you want to use it for. Each of the bus paths can be assigned here. I can bring parts in and out according to what I want to send to my multi-track over here on the bus. And of course pans and mutes and solos. Send effect and returns there. And here is my MRC remote control for my Lexicon LXP1 and LXP5. They're both Jim Williams analog upgrades mods, which are down underneath here. We'll take a look at that. Down here I have my patch bay. Since the Ramsa's connections are all in the back and it's really hard to reach them, I brought all those connections up to the front here. And then I have just cables coming from my synthesizers going into some DI boxes here. I've got some old Stewart active DI boxes here, which I think these are like 1988. You can put a battery in here if you want to, or just run it off phantom power. This allows you to take a line level instrument and run it into the mic input on your board to take advantage of the mic preamps on the board. And I do really like this Warm Audio active DI box. Here are my Lexicon LXP1 and 5 down here. I have a KMX 16, the Sonic MIDI patch bay, which is a fantastic MIDI patch bay. They're really hard to find nowadays. And some tube warming devices here. And I should mention as well that over here on this side, underneath the Tascam 48 deck, I have not only the full rack, of course, as you can see here, but I also have a couple of the DBX units, which is great in terms of improving the signal to noise ratio for the tape deck. And I'm running SMPTE on track 1 here. Most people run it on track 8, but I had an output problem, so I ran it on track 1 here. And make sure you turn the DBX off on your SMPTE tone, because otherwise it's not going to read properly. On my piano, I have it stereo mic'd and then plugged directly into the Ramsa board, into the mic preamps. And then I also have a nice vintage AKG C414 from 1988 that's also plugged into the Ramsa for vocals when I want to sing and play the piano. The microphones over there on the piano are in an XY configuration, and they are some Studio Electronics mics. I can't remember the name of them. I'll try and figure out what they were. This is the master sync box for my analog studio. Basically, I press start here. It sends out MIDI beat clock to all of my individual hardware sequencers. Check this out. Here goes the drum machines. And when I switch it to SMPTE mode, the tape deck is striped with SMPTE timecode, and I start the tape deck, then this will read the SMPTE timecode. I've set a start time for my song to start at, I think it's 1 minute on here, and then it sends out that MIDI beat clock to my sequencers. Check this out. So over here on this side, these are the synths and drum machines that I have out at the moment that are plugged into either the line inputs on the mixing board or going through the DI boxes. I got my favorite 12-bit drum machine over here, that Core DDD1, and the Sub 37, the Moog Sub 37, just love the Moog Sub 37. Cyclone Drum Drone, the TR606. And the JX3P with a DT200 programmer, and it's modded. I believe it's is it called the Digital River mod that's in there, so that it sends and receives all of the MIDI CC messages. My original, actually, my Ensoniq ASR10. I used this back when I used to produce hip hop back in the 90s. Love this keyboard. I have all the outputs on it, expanded outputs. I've got a SCSI drive system set up on it. A couple of drum machines down on the bottom. The classic Yamaha RX-11 and a TR-707 down there that you can't quite see. So I just take out the synths that I want to use and put them in my rack and work with them. That's sort of my sonic palette, so to speak, when I want to do some composing with the analog side of things. Sometimes I'll swap out the JX3P for a different analog synth or Sub 37 or a different sampler or something. And everything's on a nice classic 1983 A-frame stand. The ultimate support A-frame stands. Man, these things were just so cool. I got one of these on the used market. I think it was like $300 or something. So, the equipment here is not super expensive, and it's certainly, again, not necessary, but it is a lot of fun. Well, there you have it. All of my analog gear and how it's all hooked up. I do hope you enjoyed that and that it was something that maybe brings you some additional information about how to set all this stuff up, how to make the connections, things you might be able to pick up if you'd like to design an analog system. But again, remember, none of this stuff is necessary. They're all just toys. You don't need this stuff. to make good music these days. You don't make, I should emphasize that you don't need this stuff these days to make good music. We've got way better tools. I never need to go back to this stuff in terms of having to not use a computer to do music production on. Having computers are freaking amazing. Keep using computers. But hey, this stuff is fun. So having said all that, please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Ciao.